Hi everybody, how are you? Today we're going to work on abs. So let's start comfortable seated position down on your mat. Start with a little bit of breathing. So let's try this. Bring your hand up in front of your face as if it were a little mirror. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth as if you're fogging up that mirror. And again, nice inhale, long and slow. Exhale, fog up that mirror. Again. And now you can probably do it without your hand. Inhale. Make a sound, an ah. Inhale. One more. And just pause for a moment. Now, before you do any poses, always make sure that you've warmed up your back. So I'm going to do a very short back warm up, but I encourage you to do it over and over a few times more before you get into the actual exercises for the abs. Okay, you can pause the video and do that. So let's take a big inhale, reach up and out. Exhale down. Let your left fingertips stay on the mat. Let your right arm come up and over. So this is the lateral curving of the spine, the lateral function of the spine. Swoop that over to the other side. Again, over to the left. And again, over to the right. Big reach up. And bring your hands together, bring them to prayer, take a breath, bring your hands to your knees. Lean way back onto your tailbone. This is the arching and curving of the back. So here's the curve. And then come up onto your sitting bones. Lift your heart up toward the sky, the arching. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Really think about lifting that sternum. And then down again onto your tailbone, lean way back, stretch your arms straight, tuck your chin, roll onto your sitting bones, come on up, reach your heart up to the sky. Let's do it one more time. And up. And then reach your arms up again. Big inhale. Turn to the left. Lower your arms. One hand to the outside of your knee. The other fingertips to the base of your spine so that your spine and your forearm become like one column. Press down, rise up. Exhale, twist a little bit more. That's the rotational function of your spine. And up to center. Over to the right, same thing here. Use your hands to help you twist a little bit more on the exhale. Think of your body twisting around that column that is your spine and your forearm. Come on up, over to the left, one more time. And up and over to the right. Press down, rise up, and twist. And then just come on back to center, hands on your knees, lean forward, sway back and forth, let your heart come from one knee to the other. And then end that with a nice rotation. You can get your elbows, your shoulders involved in this. Change direction, come around the other way, lift your arms, clasp your hands together, turn the palms inside out, and make a big circle on the ceiling with the palms. and just loosen up your back. Okay, now I think we're ready to work on our abs. So stretch out on your back. Take a breath. And then bring just your right knee up. We'll start off nice and easy. And then switch left knee. As the right leg extends, let it hover above the mat. And then slowly switch. And just keep going. Nice and easy. Keep it slow and continuous so that those middle abdominals, this is all for the middle abdominals. As you go slowly and continuously, they have to keep engaging, keep working. And bring both knees in, roll around on your sacrum a little bit, press out any tension that may form in your lower back, and bring your feet to the floor. Then bring your hands onto your thighs. Slide the heel of your hand down into the hip crease. Take an inhale. On the exhale, use your abdominals to lift you. Slide your fingertips to your knees. And slowly lower down. Big breath. Exhale, up again. And inhale. Down. Exhale. Inhale. Let's do 3 more. Up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. And inhale down. Take a breath. You can clasp your hands behind your head. Now lift your legs straight up to the ceiling. Flex your ankles. Feel the stretch in the back of your legs. The more you flex your ankles, the more you're stretching those muscles in the back of your legs. So let your toes come down toward your waist. Push your heels up toward the ceiling. Now slowly lower your right leg and let it hover above the mat. Maybe the left leg could come in even a little closer to your upper body. And then switch. Same thing as we did before. The descending leg is going to hover above the mat, and the ascending leg is going to come in as close as is available to you, to your upper body. Keep it slow and continuous. Keep your ankles flexed. And let's do 1 more for each side. And then just let both legs go down to the mat and take a breath. Circle your toes so that you're rotating your ankles. And then plug your heels into the mat. Take a breath. On the exhale, lift your head and look down at your toes. Now notice if your hands did the lifting or if your abs did the lifting. You really want to engage those abs and let them do the lifting so that you could remove your hands. And lower down. Inhale. Exhale. Come up again. Look at your toes. Inhale down. Exhale up. And inhale down. Now let's just take a twist to each side. So bring your left elbow over to the right, back to center. And then the right to the left, back And again to the first side and the second side. And one more for each side. Getting a little twisting in, which is great for digestion. Back to center. Flex your ankles, plug your heels into the mat, take a breath, and lift up again. Look down at your toes. Remember, your abdominals do the lifting, not your hands. Lower down. Your hands are just placed there. And again, exhale. Look up and toward your toes. Inhale, down. Exhale, up. Look toward your toes. And inhale, down. Take a breath. Now, bend your knees in, tightly into your chest. And then just roll slightly to the right as you squeeze your knees up toward your armpits. See how your tailbone lifts off the floor. And then slowly roll to the other side and squeeze your knees up. And come on back to center, over to the right again. Squeeze and hold. And roll back and squeeze and hold. And back to center. Extend your left leg. Let it hover. Come on up, lift, and turn to the right. Your left elbow is coming towards your right knee. Back down and switch. Up. Twisting now. Right elbow to left knee. And down. And up. And down. And up. And down. And up. And down. Up. And down. Up. And down. Let's do one more to each side. And come on back. Bring your knees into your chest. Roll around. Unclasp your hands. Hug them around your knees instead. And just make a nice couple of circles in each direction. And then bring your feet to the floor. Windshield wiper your knees back and forth. So keep your back pressed flat into the mat. You're rolling across the lower back, releasing any tension there. Come back to center and grab your block. Now put your block between your thighs vertically. And again, clasp your hands behind your back. Now, squeeze that block as hard as you can with your thighs. At the same time, squeeze your belly down towards your spine, down to the mat so you have a flat back and you're really pulling your belly towards your spine. And with all of that pressing, let your feet just float up off the floor. Squeeze that block, squeeze your belly down, let your feet float up. And release. Take a breath. Exhale, same thing. Squeeze that block, squeeze your belly, lift your feet, and lower down. Take a breath. Exhale again, lift and squeeze and squeeze. And this time, using your abdominals, lift your head and look at your block. You're still squeezing. Lower down. Take a breath. Exhale, up again. Same thing. Squeeze, squeeze, feet float up, and your head lifts to look at your block. Squeeze that block. And lower down. Take a breath. Take your block, lift it up toward the ceiling. Lift your legs vertically. Take it, inhale. On the exhale, press the block to your toes. Maybe you touch, maybe not. Just come close. And lower down. Breathe. And exhale. And inhale. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Hold. Down. And again. And down. Take a breath. Now, give the block to your feet. Lift your arms overhead. Lower your legs. And breathe. And slowly come back up. Transfer the block to your hands. Same thing with the block now going overhead, your legs going forward, and slowly come up. Transfer. Again. And come up. And one more time. And bend your knees into your chest. Put your block aside. For now, clasp your hands behind your head. Again. Let your knees get as wide apart as your shoulders, maybe even a little bit wider. Going to come into a tight little crunch, a tight little ball. So take a breath, exhale, crunch up, bring your elbows toward your knees, and you can lift your tailbone to bring your knees closer to your elbows. Inhale, release. Exhale, crunch again. And release. Now on the release, this is an option to extend your legs out and then come back into that crunch on an exhale. And inhale, release, and exhale again. And release, and let's do one more. Exhale, crunch. And release. Bring your feet to the floor, windshield wiper your knees, back and forth. And take a breath. So let's just slip a bridge in there just to stretch out the front body. So bending your knees, bringing your elbows in close, tucking your shoulder blades under. And let your fingers reach up, pointing toward the ceiling. Now press down into your feet and your upper arms from the elbow to the shoulder and lift your hips. Think of those hip bones heading like headlights straight up to the ceiling. You're keeping the weight in your feet and your upper arms so it's not all on the back of your head. And now squeeze your buttocks and see if you could lift your tailbone just a little bit higher. Just get that nice stretch. Press your knees forward to stretch out the quadriceps, the muscles in your thighs, and round your chest back toward your chin to get a nice long front body stretch. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, like a string of pearls, lay them down onto the mat until your tailbone touches, and then again, just a few windshield wipers from side to side. Let's try another crunch. So bring your knees up again. Big toes are touching. Bring your arms inside. Clasp your hands together and then just let the index fingers extend. So your hands are in temple pose. Take a breath. On the exhale, use your abdominals. Lift up and let your fingers come right to the top of your toes. And lower down. Take a breath. And again, exhale up. Inhale down. You can lift your arms overhead. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. And inhale down. Let's do 2 more. Exhale up. Hold a little bit longer. And down. And 1 more. Come on up. Hold. And down. Feet to the floor. Take a breath. Slide your block underneath your sacrum. So don't forget, it should feel comfortable. It's that whole bone structure, triangular structure, resting against the block. And then tuck your shoulder blades under. Now you might want to hold on to your block. So let your wrist come to the sides of the block and your fingers are around the back. Lift your legs straight up. Bring them in a little bit closer to your upper body. Flex your ankles. And now very slowly let them descend halfway down toward the floor. And just stop at the halfway point. Do this slowly. And then bend your knees in and extend your legs straight up to the ceiling again. Let them drop forward to the halfway point and hold there. Open to a straddle. Come back together. Bend your knees. Come into your chest. Legs straight up again. Halfway down. Pause at that point. Open to a straddle. Crisscross. Open to a straddle. Crisscross again. The other way. Open to a straddle. Come back together. Bend your knees. Bring them into your chest. Last one. Straight up. Ankles flexed. Holding onto your block just to keep it in place. And slowly as you can, let your legs come all the way down to the floor. Now, when your heels land, just let go. Let your feet fall out. Let your legs and your hips relax. And just pause here in this nice restorative stretch for your front body and take a few breaths. Bend your knees, walk your feet back. Take a breath. Now we're going to stay with the middle abs for a little bit longer, and then we'll go to the lower abs. So lift your knees so that they are directly above your hips. You're going to have a 90-degree angle in your hip, a 90-degree angle in your knees. Your shins are parallel with the floor. Right, this is what works those middle abdominals. Tap your right toe to the floor and bring it back into place. Tap it again slowly and bring it back. And again. And again. Now take your left toe to the floor. Bring it back. And again. And again, and again. Now both toes. Tap, come back, knees over hips. Tap, and come back. And tap, and come back. And tap, and come back. Take a breath. You can bring your knees into your chest. Back to that same position, knees straight over hips. Extend your right leg out, let it hover, and then bring it back into position. Extend your left leg and bring it back. Exhale, right leg. Inhale, back. Exhale, left leg. Inhale, back. Exhale, right leg. And back. And left leg. And back. Bring your knees in. Take a breath. And then drop your feet to the floor. Now we're going to work on the lower abdominals. So press down into the block. Let your sacrum press into the block, and at the same time just let your feet float up off the floor. Just about 4 inches off the mat, no higher than the height of your block. And then lower your feet 2 inches, lift them back. Down and up. Down and up. Keep going nice and slow and continuous. And all the way down. Breathe. Press down into the block. Let your feet float up again. This time, extend your lower legs so your shins are parallel with the floor. Now notice your knees are not over your hips here. That's how we're getting into the lower abdominals. Take a breath and just hold. You can flex your ankles. You can point your toes. And bend your knees. Drop your feet to the floor. So one more of each of those. Press down, let your feet float up. Drop them and lift them. You can also make a little circle out of this instead of just a straight line. Same result, working those lower abdominals. And then drop your feet to the floor. Take a breath. Exhale, press down. Let your feet lift up. Extend the lower legs to be parallel with the floor. Now flex your ankles. Press your feet forward. Bring them back. Not all the way, not over your hips. Forward and back. Forward toward the wall and back. Again and again. You can feel those lower abdominals. Bend your knees into your chest. Take a breath. Drop your feet. Stretch your legs out again. Just for a nice restorative pose. Let those abdominals rest. And then bend your knees. Put your block aside. And bring your knees into your chest and roll around on your back. Really think about any tension that might be in your back, pressing it out, letting it go, and just enjoying this. So that's our ab practice for today. Let's just sit for a moment, centering ourselves, taking a breath. Close your eyes. Bring your hands together in prayer. Take a deep breath. Open your arms wide, lift up. Bring your hands together. Bring them down to your heart and bow your head towards your heart and honor yourself. And let us honor each other. Namaste.